We have a few other features within this campaign section that are really cool. One of those features is going to be the A/B content testing feature. So A/B content testing, before we could really only test subject lines, and now we can test so much more. We can test buttons, we can test images versus videos, different copy, the hierarchy of our content, anything like that. So we'll come over here and it's a little bit hidden, so I wanted to make sure that I pointed it out. It is going to be in this drop-down block, and we'll scroll down and click Create a Content Split Test. So this is where you can really just take out the guesswork. You no longer have to assume anything about your audience. You can just say, okay, I'm kind of going back and forth between this image versus this image. I'm just going to test it out. So we'll just give this test and name, and then choose our audience, all contacts my audience, or groups or segments. And then we'll adjust our test group size. We can keep it at 20%, or we can make it a little bit bigger. We can also say no test group, just split our audience in half. Now, with this, we'll just keep it at 20%. So what this is saying is that it will send these test versions to 20% of our audience. And in this example, over the span of 4 hours, at the end of those 4 hours, it will send the winning version to the remaining 80% of your audience. So now we'll choose our test winner. This will be based on our variable. So what is changing? Is it the content within our emails? So the content within our emails, that's going to be what affects your click rate. So you will choose either highest click rate or most clicks on a link. That's going to be, again, things like buttons versus link text, images, videos, anything within that email itself. Now, your open rates are going to be affected by anything within the inbox. So subject lines, pre-header text, from name, from email. So just thinking strategically about what variable you're using and then picking this A/B test winner accordingly. So then you can either auto send the winning version, choose the winner manually, or adjust this time frame. So before we were really locked into 4 hours, now we can expand that to either a little bit of a longer test period or make it more condensed with a 1-hour test period. Now we'll choose mailing A or mailing B. So technically these are two different mailings, and that sometimes makes people shy away from testing because they think they have to go in and create two entirely different emails, but you really don't. All you'll do is create mailing A as you would any other email, and then come over and create mailing, and you'll just save a copy of mailing A and change that one variable to mailing B. So if you're changing one image, or even something as simple as button color. So mailing A, we would have the red button. We'd save a copy of mailing A, and then we have mailing B, and we have the blue button. So all in all, it takes about 3 seconds to actually make that change. Then you get some really, really insightful data back in on your audience. So we choose our mailing A, mailing B, and again, just as we saw before with sending out an email normally, we would just schedule it or send it now. Highly recommend testing out content wherever you can. This is where you just can figure out more information about your audience. Your audience is always changing, they're always adapting, so just continuing to test over and over.